It's our job to try to get the best possible outcome for them. And so, you just have to have some professional skills of dealing with the different reactions you get as you provide legal representation. Some people are very volatile and upset, and some people are closed down and just won't offer much information. And the more experience you have, the more you learn how to deal with different people and different personalities. And family members is actually a big part of it too, especially for felony cases. The wives, girlfriends, moms, brothers, there's high stakes and they're interested.
Okay. With that being the case, how do you control personal feelings in this line of work? Whether it's not taking everything personal or trying to find another way around that?
Yeah, there's two aspects to that. One is if somebody gets mad at me because I just told them they're looking at the prospect of 20 years in prison. I understand that. I understand why they're frustrated with the future ahead of them and the whole situation they're in. I try to, and all of public defender attorneys try to be supportive, try to be kind, try to be, understand the frustration that's coming, and you just try to present the messages in the kindest, most supportive way that you can. There's also the aspect of internal office personalities. We have, our office is about 120 people, and we have, internal dynamics as well. And so, there's a lot to this type of work as far as dealing with people.
All right, last one. What in particular drove you to become a public defender instead of going into private practice?
Well, I grew up in the Kennedy generation. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. I had a very public service orientation in law school. I loved criminal law. That was my favorite subject, and I just gravitated to criminal law. And my first job was as a law clerk, and I handled cases, and I just found myself more oriented toward the defense side of the cases I worked on, and that's just kind of my natural personality.
You two are unique, even though you're in different spheres. You've reached a level of success almost legendary. What did you do? What made you different? Warren, we'll start with you, because they're investing. There are a lot of bright people. They've all claimed to read Graham and Dodd. They all claim to be disciplined, and yet there's only one Warren Buffett.
Well, I was lucky that I got started early. I mean, it always helps if you get started early. And my dad happened to be in the investment business, so I would go down to his office on Saturdays. And so at age probably 7 or something, I started reading these books that were around the place. And so I had a 15-year jump on many people in a sense, and that helped a lot. And I was always fascinated by it. I mean, I knew what I wanted to do early, and I think that's a huge advantage too. And then you don't need a lot of brains in this business. I mean, I've always said if you got an IQ of 160, give away 30 points to somebody else, because you don't need it in investments. What you do need is emotional stability. You have to be able to think independently, and you have to be when you come to a conclusion that. And Tom Watson said it best. He said, I'm no genius, but I'm smart in spots, and I stay around those spots. Well, I try and stay around those spots, and I just don't have a problem if somebody says, you're wrong on something. I go back and look at the facts, and I think that really is much more important, frankly, than having a few points of IQ or having an extra course or two in school or anything of the sort. You need emotional stability. And rule, the first rule is don't lose, and the second rule is never forget the first rule.
As I was listening to him, I just hear all the similarities and all things in what he's saying, right? Because if you don't look at it as tickers and things like that, you're really just searching for the truth within, you know, all that. And within all the numbers and all the chaos, you're just searching for the truth, right? And that's the key to being a recording artist, right? You're telling your story or finding your truth at the moment. You know, I had, mine's a little opposite from Warren because I started a little later. My first album didn't come out 26. I had been through so many different things. I had so much wealth to share, you know, with the world at that time. And from that starting point, I've never forgotten those things. Like you said, I mean, you never forget those true things that you stick to, your basic things that you know, make you successful.